All right, in this lesson, we're going to talk about the direction of sprites. So let's go ahead and pick a sprite that best shows the sense of direction that we're going to see here. And we're just going to pick a broom because it's very clear to see where the top and the bottom of the broom is. And we're just going to hop over here to this direction bubble right here. And as you can see, I can just put any number I want, or I can just take this image and I can just start turning the dial. And as you can see, the broom starts changing its direction with me. Now, very important to note that right here in the dial, we have a 0, as you can see down here in the bubble. As we gradually go towards the right, we start to increase the number all the way up to 180. Now, if I was going in the opposite direction, if I was going towards the left, as you can see, we go into negative numbers, and we can go all the way down to negative 180. All right, so a circle has 360 degrees, and that's what we're seeing here. We're seeing 180 degrees towards the right, which we're representing as positive, and 180 degrees towards the left, which we are representing as negative. And as you can see, depending on where we put it, or whatever number we enter, let's say we put in 180, our broom changes its direction accordingly. Now, if I was to put negative 90, for example, it has to go, remember, negative numbers start from the left. It changes direction to that side. And of course, we can also do this with the commands that we have. We have turn 15 degrees counterclockwise or clockwise. So this is the clockwise, and we have the counterclockwise over here as well. And let's just bring up our flag command right here when flag is clicked. And let's just put in a number that's really easy to see. Let's just put in 90. All right, and as you can see, whenever I click the flag and run the program, our broom changes its direction by 90 degrees. All right, so it goes from just lying down with the broom, with this head of the broom towards the right, to standing up with the head of the broom towards the bottom of the screen. And then we go to, again, lying down, but the head of the broom towards the left. And it just keeps doing it, right? And if I put in a smaller number, let's say we put in 45, same thing applies, right? But this time we're going in 45 degrees instead of 90 degrees. And of course, if we wanted to, we could have done it in the opposite direction as well. We could have done the counterclockwise, which we have over here, and we could do the same in the opposite direction. All right. Now, one more thing that we want to mention before we move on from this lesson is, remember we talked about how we had a command where we could just move our object, right? So remember this one, move 10 steps? Well, let's take a look at what happens when I attach this and I start running this program because, well, this is my sprite over here, right? So when I add move 10 steps, which direction do you think this object is going to move towards? Well, let's check it out. Let's see which direction it moves towards. Oh, very interesting. So what is happening here is very important to understand because this is going to come into play later on as we start building our programs together, is that when we have this move command, we don't move in any other direction except for the direction that the object is actually placed in, right? So let's say if the object was placed like this, then we'll be moving downwards. But if the object was placed like that, for example, would be moving in that direction, as you can see, right? So a very important concept to understand from this point on is that whenever we have this move command, what we're actually doing is we're moving along the object towards the point that the object is pointing towards, right? So this object right now, as you can see, is pointing towards this direction. So when we click on the move or when we run the program, we actually move in that direction, okay? We don't move in the x-axis necessarily. We don't move on the y-axis necessarily. We move in whatever direction the object is pointing towards, all right? So hopefully that makes sense. Go ahead and play with this. You can pick the broom sprite from over here if you want, and you can just try it out, try different directions, kind of get a feel for what numbers represent what kinds of directions, and just play along with it and see how you feel about it. And hopefully that made sense, and I'll see you in the next video.